Hello everyone, welcome to Rainbow Infinity. Today I'll be reading TheMajorTechie's Trixie Defeats the Entire Legion of Doom in a Waffle House. If you like the reading, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please enjoy. Trixie isn't paid enough for this. The sky darkened over the only Waffle House of Equestria. Trixie squinted as she cleaned up chair debris from the lobby. It looked like Trixie would need to order more chairs. Queen Chrysalis skittered down from between the ceiling tiles. "Your wife for your life, Trixie!" she screeched, pointing a hoof at the unamused unicorn. "Yes, I ship Star Treks. What about it?" Trixie, for her part, shot back the most smug smirk Trixie had ever smirked. "Your asterisk," Trixie corrected, complete with asterisk. Chrysalis stared back at the mayor who dared disrespect her. Unbeknownst to the Changeling Queen, however, disastrously correcting spoken grammar was only a distraction tactic. Trixie bashed Queen Chrysalis over the head with another chair. T-Rex slowly backed out of the Waffle House, both hands raised. "Oh, no you don't!" Trixie lit her horn, dragging the now screaming T-Rex back inside and introducing him to bathroom scrubbing duties. "Trixie!" Twilight landed at the entrance. "I gotta say, I didn't think there was going to be anything left by the time we got here." Trixie pummeled Twilight to the ground with an unending volley of hash browns. Cozy Glow peeked up from behind an overturned table, just in time for Trixie to grab her by the scruff of her neck and place her in charge of the griddle. Management made Trixie the only employee tonight, and by Celestia, she was going to make that every pony's problem. The door swung open again. A rather regal-looking King Sombra stepping inside. He scoffed at the unconscious and otherwise temporarily employed forms of his comrades before setting his sights on Trixie. "Oh, no you don't!" Trixie lit her horn again, retrieving the alicorn amulet from the receipt compartment underneath the cash drawer of the register. A dim glow illuminated her eyes as she clasped the amulet around her neck, sparks of energy crackling around her horn. "Trixie does not tolerate Burger King representatives in her Waffle House." Sombra hardly had enough time to dodge what could only be described as a Waffle House death laser. Trixie was only warming up. "Fools!" Sombra landed beside the open door to the restroom. "T-Rex, Cozy, what are you doing?" Ignore that in this universe, King Sombra stuck with the Legion of Doom. T-Rex held up a toilet scrubber. Cozy Glow hovered nearby with a spray bottle, an equally blank expression plastered across her face. "Bah!" Sombra leapt out of the way in time for a chair to barely miss him again. Instead embedding itself in the mirror Cozy Glow was just cleaning. As for Cozy herself, she proceeded to be yoinked out of the restroom and placed back in front of the griddle. Trixie floated a quill and a clipboard over as that happened. "Trixie requires you to read your terms of employment and sign your name before you can be placed on payroll," she muttered, still bombarding the rest of the Waffle House lobby as she attempted to smite Sombra. "Importantly, Trixie wishes to clarify that restroom duties are not part of the contract." "Golly!" Cozy Glow read over the terms. "I get to play with any pony I want?" "Trixie is mildly concerned about what you mean by play, but if they are causing trouble, then yes." Trixie dodged a strike from Sombra. "Just help Trixie in the kitchen and you're hired." Cozy Glow signed the job application and became an unofficial official Waffle House employee alongside Trixie, thus completing a redemption arc that Hasbro was too afraid to give her. Waffle House Cozy Glow is shrimply too powerful to comprehend when empowered by Waffle House Trixie. "Trixie!" Twilight wheezed from beneath the mountain of hash browns. "Down, girl!" Trixie momentarily redirected her attention to adding sausages to the pile. "You're only shooting yourself in the hoof, Trixie," Sombra oozed, reforming from shadowy mist around the bolt of magic Trixie had just fired off. "Why don't you let her fight?" Trixie planted her hooves. "Because this isn't Princess Twilight's domain. She has no need to use her strength in this place, where waffles are served and honor comes to die." "Oh?" A hint of amusement trickled into Sombra's voice. Just for a moment, He held his form, stepping closer to Trixie. He loomed over the mare, his body blotting out the glaring fluorescent lights of the Waffle House like an eclipse. Then whose is it? Trixie lifted her head, her horns still crackling with cursed energy. Mine! She fired a spell point-blank up Sombra's chin. The door slammed open just as Sombra fell backward onto the cold linoleum floor in a daze. What? You thought she killed him? Trixie does not kill. Unless she's annoyed enough. Which at this point, Trixie is actually pretty close to killing right now. Trixie, what the buck is going on here? Applejack trotted into the Waffle House, followed by the rest of the belated main six. Twilight teleported ahead to get an idea what we were facing, and she never came back. She spotted Twilight's hoof sticking out from beneath the pile of hash browns and sausages. Did you kill? Trixie does not kill. Trixie swung a chair at Applejack. The chair lost. Trixie is protecting her workplace. Trixie worked so hard to get this job, and she does not want to go back to scrounging for scraps. Suppose that makes sense. Applejack peered at Twilight again as Rarity fussed over the smeared paint that had transferred from the now bent steel chair onto Applejack's body. Still, you should have let her help. What if the Legion of Doom... Sombra stirred just enough in Trixie's periphery for her to compress him into a 1-meter cube of Sombra. He's okay. I think. Trixie unclasped the alicorn amulet from around her neck, stepping over the unconscious Queen Chrysalis and cubic Sombra to the somehow still intact front counter and tucking it away in the cash register again. She cleared her throat. Welcome to Waffle House. What do you want? Order up or scram? We'll, Fluttershy pointed a hoof at Chrysalis. We'll take the big bug and the cube king. 1 big bug and 1 cube king. Trixie typed into the register. Anything else? Fluttershy shook her head. A big bug and a cube king, Trixie shouted toward the kitchen. The crash of a fryer rack against the floor rung out through the Waffle House. Fluttershy brushed aside a lock of her mane. I don't think we want them cooked in any way. All right, forget about the griddle, Trixie shouted back toward the kitchen again. This crazy mare wants them raw. Cozy Glow buzzed out of the kitchen, already donning a Waffle House uniform that she got from who knows where. Raw? But what about food poisoning? Sombra lifted his head from the king cube he'd been turned into. Nobody is cooking anybody. Anyway, your total is 367 bits. Trixie returned her attention to the register. Will that be cash or card? Trixie, darling. Rarity stepped up to the counter. I appreciate the work you've put into defeating these villains, but do we really need to pay to remove them from the premises? What she said, Sombra added. He couldn't move anything aside from his head on account of being a cube. You dare deny Trixie her hard-earned income? Trixie lit her horn again. You treat Trixie like peasant? Oh, jail for Rarity. Jail for 1,000 moons. Hey, whoa. Rainbow Dash swooped in, splaying her wings out between the two. No pony is banishing any pony tonight. Got it? Just like, take it out of Twilight's account or something. She's rich now that she's a princess, right? Every pony's eyes turned toward the still unconscious Twilight Sparkle. Pinky thumbed through Twilight's wallet with every pony else still capable of walking, watching. Twilight groaned beneath the pile of hash browns, sausages, and now also sacks of pre-mixed waffle batter. Had to make sure she was immobilized before taking her wallet, obviously. Trixie also mentally counted 1 more metal chair to replace alongside the mangled one from the earlier Applejack encounter. Golly! Cozy Glow watched membership card after membership card flip past. She really is the Princess of Friendship, huh? And darn broke, Applejack added. I ain't seeing any bits in that there wallet. Hey now, she's gotta have something, Rainbow butted in. She'd better have something. Actually, Rarity, do you remember what the tax rates are in Ponyville? Tax rates? Rarity scoffed. Darling, Ponyville is a tax haven. So she's broke then. Told you. Applejack jabbed Rainbow in the side. Wait! Pinky picked out the official super secret Princess Treasury Direct Equestrian debit card. She's a Fed, remember? Pinky, I don't think any pony here knows what you're talking about, darling. Pinky rolled her eyes. I mean that she does have money. Rainbow jabbed Applejack back. All right, pay up then. Trixie stepped around the Sombra cube back to the register. Again. And don't make a mess with your order either. Trixie's manager is coming later tonight, and she does not want to be fired again. Pinky swiped Twilight's card and forged her signature on the card terminal. The card declined. Every pony stared at the card terminal, except for Sombra, who was craning his neck the best he could from his cubic situation to get a view of the action. Out of the way, girls. Trixie lit her horn, basically shoving aside the rest of the main six. Twilight Sparkle belongs to Trixie now. Why'd her card decline? Pinky pulled the card from the terminal and shoved it back in repeatedly. It pulls from Equestria's treasury, doesn't it? It should have plenty of money. Celestia kicked in the door to her sister's Gamer Girl streaming dungeon trademark. Sister, did you spend the entire fiscal budget on microtransactions again? Luna said nothing in response, only pulling up a certain gif of a particular anime girl being particularly silly after an oopsies moment. Twilight Sparkle awoke with a jolt. She squinted in the bright lights above her. What? When did she... She shifted in her seat, only to find that she'd been tied to the chair. Hello, Sparkle. Trixie entered her field of view. Are you doing well today? Twilight strained against her restraints. Could be better. Good, good. Trixie paced around her in the kitchen. See, the current predicament you're in is reliant upon your well-being, as I have a request from you. Twilight spat at Trixie. You are not becoming an alicorn. Not ever. Psh, do you think Trixie cares about such silly things right now? Trixie lit her horn, wiping away the spit puddle on the floor. No, Trixie requires you to wash the dishes. Consider it the paying off of your debt to Trixie. Debt? Twilight lifted a brow. Untie me, Trixie. What are you even talking about? Trixie lit her horn, spinning the chair and Twilight around to face the rest of the main six as they secure the concussed Queen Chrysalis and cubic King Sombra for transport. See, your villains caused a very big mess in Trixie's Waffle House. Trixie's manager is coming to do an inspection in 1 hour, and if he doesn't like it, then she will be fired. Do you really want to put a poor, struggling mare out of a job? Twilight sighed. Fine, I'll help you clean up, but only because this is technically our fault. Cozy Glow dropped a pan into the sink. Wait! Twilight shouted. Cozy's still free. What about her? What about her, Sparkle? Trixie flipped Twilight back around. That filly is a hard-working employee of Waffle House. Trixie hired her herself. First, your villains tear up the lobby, and now you're trying to take away Trixie's dutiful helpers? No. Twilight averted her gaze. She spotted Tirek piecing the restroom mirror back together with superglue in her periphery. What about Another new hire. Sounds like Trixie's doing a better job at reforming villains than you are, Trixie sneered. She floated over a Waffle House uniform, dropping it into Twilight's lap. Trixie will untie you now. Get yourself dressed in the back room and start sweeping when you're done. Discord arrived at the doors to the Waffle House. He pretended not to see half of his Legion of Doom being carted off in oversized takeout boxes. Mr. Manager. Trixie opened the doors. Welcome back. Trixie took on some new hires while you were gone. She hopes you will allow her to keep them on as permanent employees. Discord glanced at Tirek and Cozy Glow. Tirek narrowed his eyes, but otherwise continued reloading the paper towel dispenser. He then turned his attention to Twilight Sparkle in full Waffle House uniform, washing dishes. Okay, you get a pass. Discord stuck a smiley sticker on Trixie's horn and left. Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Until next time, stay tuned.